Champions again, Liverpool.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully all of you are having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world, and welcome to our match reaction towards Liverpool's 2-0 victory over Midtjylland. Of course, you know, very, very tough game tonight, I think I would say. You know, I think many others would, you know, absolutely agree with that. And, you know, fair play to Midtjylland as well. I believe that, you know, the majority of people, you know, were having, you know, Liverpool to thrash them, you know, by, you know, some, you know, scoreline. But, you know, for them, they had an absolutely fantastic game defensively. But we will talk all about that tonight as well, including a bit of injury news as well. Sadly, more injury news coming out of a Liverpool game anyway. But if you could, as always, please do me the favor and give the video a like. It's massively appreciated if you can do so. Also, as well, if you're new to the Cop Council and watching this for the first time, then please hit that subscribe button and don't forget to enable notifications. I can't talk tonight for some weird reason, but let's see who we have in the chat. Diego's in saying, evening all, congrats on a good win tonight. Thank you, Diego. Hopefully you're on a fantastic day. He also has to say Barcelona's president resigned 20 minutes ago. Yes, he did. He did very much resign from this. So yeah, everything is up in the air at the moment, but at Barcelona, which, just going to say it, Liverpool broke them. Liverpool absolutely destroyed them, didn't we? So that's fantastic. Chris is in as well saying, evening, pal. Hope you're well. I'm doing fantastic, mate, especially after Liverpool have won tonight. I moved top of Group D as well, which is an added bonus as well. Of course, Atlanta and Ajax drawing 2-2 after Ajax threw away a 2-0 lead anyway. Chris says as well, well, it wasn't vintage, but we get the job done. Midtjylland were fantastic tonight. Better team would have put chances they had away. I thought penalty was very soft, but we take it perfect, tidy start. I personally wouldn't say I personally wouldn't say it wasn't a penalty. Sorry, I think that it was. If you look at the replay a few times, you know, he does catch Mo about 3 or 4 times. You know, so for me it was a penalty. But yeah, apart from that, I absolutely agree. Anyway, Seamus is saying scrappy game, but we get the job done. Is Jota our new number 9 potentially? You know, and we will, like, the first thing I do have to say as well as before we do talk about anything, and you know, you guys have seen it in the title anyway, and that is Diago Jota has scored Liverpool's 10,000th goal. You know what, you know, to be a part of Liverpool's history like that, and that was the question coming into this game. It was realistically, you know, who would score that 10,000th goal, and well, I think a lot of people were guessing other people, but you know, Diago Jota did get, of course, Liverpool's 10,000th goal in our history. Of course, I think BT did issue, you know, all the things like, you know, own goals and things like this, but of course, you know, it wasn't I wasn't gonna you know, get in all of that anyway. But Chris also says Genie, Trent, Shaqiri, Jota, my standouts for man of the match. You also go on to say I'm torn between Trent and Shaqiri. Of course, we will talk a little bit more about that. Kale, I'm not going to read your comments. They're about Manchester United and Man City. Don't care about them, I'm afraid, my friend. Tonight anyway. Diego says, I'm hearing your Mo limped off at the end of the game. Hope he is okay. I think he's fine, if I'm being perfectly honest, mate. I think he limped off because, to be fair, well, for the penalty, it was, you know, once or twice, you know, studs on Mo's foot. So I think he'll be fine anyway. But yeah, a little bit of probably ice on there, and that will do for him. Anyway, Chris says, Diago Jota, yeah, he's absolutely fantastic at the minute, isn't he? He's undroppable at the minute, in my opinion. And now moving on to head to West Ham, you know, in that thought process anyway, do you drop Jota? You know, it's an interesting question. I think many people will have an argument for it, but you know, that will be, you know, for the match preview show for West Ham anyway. Chris says, I Jota feeling Jota gonna be a bargain. Yeah, I already got that. Yeah, Doug obviously predicted Jota. Doug's just not going to shut up now about predicting Jota. So I'll allow Doug to have his glory. But Jota says, Diago says, sorry. Well done, Jota, into the history books at Anfield. Yeah, absolutely. He's been a fantastic, signing for us. And like we were talking yesterday with Owen at the from the Cop On podcast, he for me is going to become so great at Liverpool. And tonight, I think Chris has already said it. He was, probably the best attacker on the pitch for Liverpool, of course, as well. And, many others as well, having a man of the match performance anyway. But here it was the starting lineup then for tonight's match. Of course, you have Alisson in goal. I got the defence right. To be fair, I did get the defence right. I got Alisson, got Trent, got Gomez, Fabinho, and Robertson. But then I think, like I said, like we did say yesterday, it was like a lottery to pick the midfield and, the front three as well. But we went with Jordan Henderson, James Milner, Xherdan Shaqiri, Diago Jota, of course, Takumi Minamino, and Divock Origi starting for the first time this season. So, guys, let me know as well in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts when you saw the lineup anyway. Were you confident about it? For me, I was confident with the defense originally, and then when it became then seeing the midfield, I was a bit like, okay, we may go 4-3-3, we may go 4-2-3-1, and then it ended up being 4-2-3-1 for a huge period of the game anyway. So guys, let me know your thoughts, of course, down below anyway. But Steamer says Reece Williams impressing again. Yes, absolutely fantastic game for him. We will talk a little bit about that whole situation anyway. Jeannie's in saying, evening everyone, nice clean sheet of 3 points, best of luck to Fabinho. Yeah, we do have a little bit of news about Fabinho. There is some news about him anyway. Kale says, is Alisson fully fit now? Yep, 100% fully back to his best. Saving us a couple of times tonight in one or two occasions anyway. Chris says, I do want us to stick to the 4-3-3, though case as in that case, as much as we get back to back wins with the 4-2-3-1, I feel we missed that extra midfielder. Why Gini made difference in the second half. Yeah, I get what you mean, and it's like what Owen was saying yesterday. For him, he doesn't like the 4-2-3-1 because in the midfield it leaves a lot of gaps, and I think tonight that was the case as well. And I think that is why also Liverpool didn't do as well attackingly. Of course, you may look at it, Liverpool won 2-0, what's the problem? But Liverpool today had a very bad attacking performance. There was no, apart from like Trent and Robbo, there was no creativity between the front three. No chemistry between the likes of Jota, the likes of Minamino and Origi. Them three not working perfectly together, and of course that's fully expected because they don't play as much as the normal front three. And Shaqiri was more playing in that midfield role, and it was kind of, especially in the first half, you had Henderson and Milner being the two defensive midfielders, and then Shaqiri having that free roam position then realistically, and having that work in between midfield and attack. And I think that maybe that didn't work the best then in terms of defensively and in other little terms as well. But guys, let me know your thoughts anyway in the comment section down below. Oh, I just read that one, my apologies. Chaos says, why two goalkeepers in the subs? Because you're allowed 12 substitutes. You're allowed 12 players on your subs bench, but you're only allowed to make 5 substitutes. So practically just making up the numbers then, because I believe if you don't name 12, you get fined by UEFA. I think that's a rule. I don't know whether or not if that's true or not. So if anyone does know, then please let me know. Jeannie says the lineup took me back to the derby last year. Yeah, I do get what you mean by there. Yeah, it was an interesting one, wasn't it? It was a very interesting lineup. But to be fair, I think we all predicted it. We predicted a bit of change. We predicted a bit of rotation then, because it is needed. Because of course we got West Ham now on the weekend, then we've got Atlanta. Then next week we've got Man City. Then before the whole before the international break. So there is games coming thick and fast for Liverpool, and I just think that it's going to be a bit too much for the front three, even though they did come on afterwards anyway. But yeah, let's talk then about the big news then coming out of Liverpool, and that is Fabinho, of course. Now, If I can get it up on your screen right now. Of course, Fabinho did go down after, I believe it was a cross from Midtjylland, and he did go down anyway. But it has been confirmed anyway that Fabinho has suffered a hamstring injury. Jurgen Klopp has announced it, of course, with BT Sport and other people as well that has quickly been interviewed anyway in that respect. But our good friends at the Copite anyway, of course, tweeting out what Klopp had to say about Fabinho. He said it's exactly the last thing we needed. I know he felt a hamstring and that's not good. He said he could have played on, but with no sprints, which doesn't help. We will see and we will know more after the scan, which, of course, isn't as the cop out stand, but there, I think that emoji sums up perfectly everyone's emotions to that. It's like, oh, another injury for Liverpool, and to Fabinho, the guy that's been phenomenal in taking the place for Virgil van Dijk recently. And I think that we were all talking about rotation and that, and talking about injuries, over the last couple of days. But you didn't want a defensive injury. I think if it was going to be anyone, you would prefer, an attacker or a midfielder. But just not having Fabinho again is and not having that centre back, it is damaging, because now we are left with Joe Gomez at the minute being the only solid fit centre back at the club, apart from, like, of course, Reece Williams and all the other centre backs in the academy anyway. But someone did mention, of course, Reece Williams. He did come on and had a fantastic game, had a fantastic 70 minutes for Liverpool, and again, looking very good in a Champions League game. I think that is it's fantastic, and realistically, does he now maybe be in contention for West Ham on the weekend? That is a potential thing, but time will tell in that aspects, to be honest with you. Mickey's in saying, hey bro, hopefully you're having a fantastic day, Mickey. I know he was on Jack's channel a minute ago. Kale says, I feel Barca will target Genie in January. That is not going to happen now, because of course their president going down. So Kale, please stop putting in transfer stuff, because realistically nothing transfer wise is going to be talked about, like I did say, from December until December anyway, or late November. But yeah, Genie to Barcelona is a no-go now, because I think Coleman's going to be gone, maybe even this season. I think if he loses one or two more before December, then I think he will be gone from Barcelona for sure. And then they're going to try and get, well, if that new president comes in, then of course they're going to try and have a look at Xavi. So the Genie's not going there anytime soon. Seema says, I think Origi's slowed down our forward line. Yeah, I think that as well. But I think the other thing with with Divock Origi is that this is his first game of the season, realistically, apart from pre-season. And to be fair, he didn't play much of pre-season, because there was the report out in Austria, of course, that he did have COVID-19. Liverpool didn't say anything about it, but he was missing from it, so he might have been quarantining by himself. Maybe one of his family members had got it, or whatever, or maybe there might have been a bit of complications there. But it's going to be interesting anyway. What is going to happen with Divock Origi. We did have that little bit of conversation yesterday with Owen from the Cop On anyway, and I think it is going to be very interesting to know what is going to happen for next for Divock Origi. Anyway, Genie says, I feel like Hendo is playing centre back on Saturday. To be fair, there was discussions, I think, about Jordan Henderson going centre back before Reece Williams did come on, so it's a possibility. We might end up having to do that, because if you guys remember last season and the Club World Cup, we had to play Henderson at centre back. So of course there is the possibility there. Of course, Genie also says there's more chance of me going to Barcelona. Yeah, there's probably more chance of me going to Barcelona, at the minute, than Genie Wijnaldum. So yeah, there is that, to be fair, as well. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I'm very happy with the performance against Midtjylland. Of course, Jota again the 10,000th goal, Mo Salah again the 10,001st goal. But the overall performance for me, defensively, was superb. I think defensively we were good at times. I think there was only once or twice that they got in behind and nearly scored, which, thankfully for Ali, he, saved us then, to be fair, if you could say that. And I think that, that's just the brilliance in having Alisson Becker back. I read someone's tweet, I think one of the journalists that was at the game tonight anyway, and they were saying, you could hear Ali constantly, shouting things at Joe Gomez, shouting things at Reece Williams, shouting things at Robertson. And that is what I think Liverpool have missed in the sense with Adrian, and I think a lot of people will say that there's not that real security there, in like Alisson, because of course Alisson is the best goalkeeper in world football. I think many of us would agree with that, and I think that, of course, Adrian, he's not on the level of Alisson, but there still isn't that confidence, I don't think, with the likes of between Alisson and Adrian. But yeah, it is one of these things, isn't it, that I think, the best goalkeeper in the world, they can do everything possible anyway, but they can also as well do, realistically what, people can't do, and only a minority of people can do. So yeah, but guys, let me know your thoughts anyway about tonight's game, of course. Chris says Fabinho will probably be out for a month with a hamstring injury. So from what I was reading, quickly anyway, if it's a grade 1 tear, then it's between 5 to 7 days between that anyway. And I think that it's one of these things, I think, as well, that people will overlook and try and think negatively about. And I think that I think it is one of the injuries that is very unpredictable. And I think if it's a grade 1, it's going to be between 5 and 7 days. If it's grade 2, you're looking about a month. If you're looking grade 3, then you're talking serious timeout. But hopefully that isn't the case as well, in terms of Fabinho as well. Oliver, I can see your comment, mate. Mods, if you can, I think I can do it. There you go. You were timed out, mate. I seen that comment, and you're being timed out. If he does come back, chat, then please, mods. If there are any mods in here, then please do ban him or put him on a timeout anyway. Mark says, slow game. Worried about squad depth again. Yeah, look, it's one of these things, isn't it? That it is an interesting thing, and more injuries means more problems, of course, for Liverpool, and especially defensive issues, and that. So yeah, it's one of these things, but hopefully it's a grade 1 10. He's only out for the West Ham game. I think if Matip is back for that, then I think he will definitely play against West Ham. So we just have to keep our fingers crossed for that anyway. But Jeannie says, if Adrian was a bit better, I'll stick Alisson in midfield. We could shove Alisson in defence. Maybe have Ali in defence. Bloody do what? Who was it for Manchester City that put David James up front? If Doug's in, then Doug would know. But yeah, it's interesting anyway. I remember as a kid, David, if anyone else remembers as well, when David James was playing for Manchester City and he went from it's a goalkeeper to centre forward, and they had like an outfield shirt printed for him, and they did it, and that was fantastic that time anyway. But let's quickly talk then about man of the match. Of course, I think a lot of people will have different opinions on man of the match as well. If I quickly have a look on Twitter anyway, I did put out a poll for you guys to answer anyway, and you guys have completely gone from what I fully expected you guys would go for, and that is Trent Alexander-Arnold is tonight's man of the match. Well, people are saying 76.2% of you have gone with Trent Alexander-Arnold. For me as well, he is my man of the match. I got him right by here as well. For me, he was my man of the match tonight. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. with especially his balls into the box, defensive work as well. He was absolutely fantastic. I know that probably a couple of people might say Robertson as well. I've seen a couple of people on Twitter saying Robbo, as well. But for me, Trent was superb. The first half as well, there was one ball he played for Taki, and Taki just put it on target. It would have been, probably one of the best goals, of the season, in terms of, distribution and that. But yeah, he was just superb. His all-round game as well. And I know people will always criticize Trent for defensive work, and I know it's against Midtjylland, but still, just having it on it was, superb. And that. So for me, I personally think he was superb tonight and definitely deserves man of the match, in my personal opinion. Anyway, but guys, please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Okay, I'll ask, who's this 15-year-old from BVD? I do not know. If anyone does know, then please let me know. Mark says, yep, defo man of the match. Seema says, Trent and Shaqiri are close. Trent, man of the match, and Shaqiri a close second. Yeah, I thought Shaqiri had a good game. For me, I thought that you couldn't give it to any attacking players because it was such a bad attacking performance, if that makes sense. But I say it wasn't. It was a terrible, attacking performance. I don't think it was the performance that we thought it was going to be then. But yeah, it's one of these things, isn't it? But yeah, it will be interesting anyway. See how many people will vote for Shaqiri. Genie goes, wow, 28% didn't see the match. What was that with? Jeannie, let me know what you mean by that. Might have been something with what I've just shown you. Was that with this? In terms of people not voting for Trent, maybe? Like, who knows? Who knows? But Jeannie, please do let me know. I think it was concerning that anyway. But yeah, overall thoughts, though, like I did say, fantastic defensive performance in many respects. Like they did have one or two good opportunities, but I did feel that overall Liverpool did do well defensively tonight. Attacking wise wasn't the greatest until probably the front three were on, apart from of course Jota's goal with the work between Trent and Jota. I think personally Jota is undroppable at the minute, and now it asks the question going on to West Ham, do Liverpool go with a 4-2-3-1 and play the front three with Jota there as well? Because of course we've got not Shaqiri, we've got Matip coming back, we've got Diago coming back, we've got Naby Keita coming back, so all three of them should be back for West Ham, but I don't know. That it is a little bit of a willy won't-y type things as well, of course, but it will be very interesting anyway. But Seema says, good night everyone, early start in the morning, let's keep this winning run going, you never walk alone. Absolutely, mate. And then Jeannie says good night, lad, and then Mark says good night, Seema as well. Guys, I think that is going to be it from me as well tonight. Very short match reaction tonight. Yeah, kind of got, of course, I think we only, I really want, well, I've said this for the last couple of match reactions, want to kind of keep them to in half an hour type space for many people, because I know there are a percentage that do watch it afterwards and that, and like I've had a couple of feedback off it, so trying to keep it under half an hour anyway. Let me know if you guys would like that anyway. Just keep it short and sweet then, realistically, and on topics and things like this anyway. But thank you to all of you that has tuned in live to tonight's stream anyway for our match reaction. If you are watching on repeat as well, thank you for watching as well. If you could, all of you as well, do me the massive favor and please give this video a like. It would be massively appreciated. Oliver as well, I did see your comment, mate. I did put you on timeout. Please please be respectful, and that otherwise you will get banned from the chat anyway. But Trent was brilliant. Jota, my man of the match. That's absolutely super, fine, mate. But please, in future, please be respectful to everyone in the chat, and also as well, to yourself then, realistically. But yeah, guys, if you could as well, do me the massive favor, please like, share, and subscribe if you are new to the Cop Council. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council, and I will see you all later on. Tra Reds.